I would like to talk about the 3 Ds: dialogue, discussion, and disagreement. In, in our society, regardless of when you're watching this video, things can get pretty polarized, especially when, as now, there is a global pandemic and there's all sorts of different information that's floating around. These 3 Ds really matter. And there are the dictionary definitions, and then there is also the experience. And I'm always interested in what our personal experience is of a word or a term to help us to define how we see ourselves in relationship, not only with this concept, but especially with other people. So all 3, discussion and dialogue and disagreement, involve the interaction between either 2 people or 2 groups. And I believe that it matters what we see and how we perceive these experiences of these interactions. If our discussion is intended to be a consideration or an examination of a matter at hand, then there can be a thoughtfulness to it. There can be this understanding of, well, we're gonna really examine this topic and we're gonna talk about this topic. If, however, the other party of this interaction really just wants to talk about what they believe about this particular topic, then that's not quite an examination, is it? Unless both parties of this interaction acknowledge that we're going to engage in this discussion in a way where we set our beliefs or perceptions of this topic side by side and then proceed from there. If we don't have that understanding of what that interaction is going to be, then that will inform the nature of our interaction. Because rather than it being a conscious examination of something, it becomes almost this disagreement of, I said X, you said K. These 2 things are not the same letter. They might look kind of the same, but they sound different and they make different words. Why are we having this disagreement? So having a sense of what we long for in our interactions can really help. If there is the dialogue, that back and forth between either 2 individuals or 2 groups of thought or 2 different parties of attitude, that will inform how we perceive that interaction. So once again, we get back to, what do we want in these interactions? And what we want is informed by our experience of our life. Do we feel lonely? Do we long for that connection? Do we wish to explore things but are afraid of being called wrong? Do we wish to explore what our sense of this reality is and are a little afraid of what's happening in this reality? Each one of these questions matters when we're engaging in those 3 Ds: discussion, dialogue, and disagreement. How do we perceive ourselves in those interactions? And how do we frame our presence and our existence in this world? That matters. And It's easy to take these things for granted: discussion, dialogue, and disagreement. All three of them are important parts of our human existence. They're what make us capable of growing and learning and stretching and expanding and loving. Well, there's one thing about which I have no disagreement within my heart, and that is who I am. I'm Catherine Gabriel-Jones, and it's what I do. I am an encouragement coach. And in this video, as with all videos, I wish to express to you that I believe in you.